A little over 4 months ago, she was in this very studio to tell us how she and her team intend to take Nigeria 20 places up on the Ease of Doing Business Index. This is because Nigeria is number 169 on that index. I'm talking about Dr. JUMOKE ODUWOLE. The federal government sees Dr. ODUWOLE'S work as crucial if Nigeria is to attract foreign direct investment into an economy which badly needs all the cash it can get. On the program tonight, I'll be asking her how, as we say in Nigeria, how far along has Nigeria come in making it easier to do business for both the foreign investor and the small business owner? I am SEGUN OJUMU. Welcome to Hindsight. SEGUN OJUMU. On this program, we'll be bringing you news, views, and exclusive interviews with
security that cut across humanitarian aid too.
It becomes easier to do business in Nigeria. Now,
Nigeria.
All right, I'm being joined in the studio to discuss this matter forward by Dr. JUMOKE ODUWOLE. She is the Secretary of the Presidential Enabling Business Environment Council. Dr. JUMOKE, thank you very much. Oh, you're laughing.
I am.
Okay, can you tell us why you...
No pressure.
No pressure. Okay. Okay. Now, but 4 months ago, you were in this very studio to tell us about what you were doing or what you're doing, and then we're going to begin by a flashback.
Okay.
I'm going to take us back to what you said the last time you were here,
okay,
and then we'll take it from there.
Okay.
All right.
Primary mandate is to make things easier for them, and how will we know we've achieved that? By the testimonials of SMEs across the country. Yeah. The second thing is that our public persona, our ranking, is pretty abysmal, as we've discussed. It's from basically taking our eye off the ball, but our eye is firmly back on the ball
right
yes,
now.
Yes, and we're already making traction. So we've given ourselves a target for this year to move up at least 20 places. And why 20 places? Because the sub-Saharan average is in the 140s. So at least come to the sub-Saharan average. Although we're the biggest economy, we're like the big kid in kindergarten. We're like the 10-year-old in kindergarten.
Yes.
So we need to address that promptly.
Okay, I'm sorry you didn't get to hear what what was played back there, but if the producer can, please give us, we need to see what she said and hear what she said back then, please. Thank you.
Primary mandate is to make things easier for them, and how will we know we've achieved that? By the testimonials of SMEs across the country. Yeah. The second thing is that our public persona, our ranking, is pretty abysmal, as we've discussed. It's from basically taking our eye off the ball, but our eye is firmly back on the ball
right
yes,
now.
Yes, and we're already making traction. So we've given ourselves a target for this year to move up at least 20 places. And why 20 places? Because the sub-Saharan average is in the 140s. So at least come to the sub-Saharan average. Although we're the biggest economy, we're like the big kid in kindergarten. We're like the 10-year-old in kindergarten.
Yes.
So we need to address that promptly.
Okay, you've heard that. Now, tell us, what has happened since then? Bring us up to speed.
Basically, SEGUN, thank you for having me back. It's been
Sure.
an interesting year. At that time, that was in the middle of the 60-day National Action Plan.
Yes.
I know you're aware, on the 21st of April, we announced the scorecard. We came in at 70% completion rate, which is an A in any jurisdiction. However, we didn't stop there. The council actually mandated the agencies that had reforms outstanding to complete within 30 to 45 days. Some of them are more medium term, so we've taken a different approach. So we've re-strategized on things like the Lagos airport. There's a serious separate intervention on that. CAC finished its reforms, the portal. The servers were outsourced, co-located with a private company, Main One, and it's improved. We closed the manual portal in 5 major cities, including Lagos and Kano. So it took the registering community a bit of time, but now the numbers are back up. Online registration. Yes, 48 hours. I wouldn't say there have not been any teething problems whatsoever, but I think the testimonials, at least the noise online, Twitter, which is a good sounding board, and we do welcome the feedback. By and large, we've been having positive responses.
Okay, now, right now, you mentioned the Lagos airport. Tell us exactly what you're trying to turn around there.
So the Lagos airport is a major intervention. We realized it's not a quick fix. It's not a quick fix. So we had a private company, a leading civil engineering firm, go in and do a comprehensive audit. That took about 6 to 8 weeks. We're discussing the report now. We decided not to be cosmetic about it because the issues that were uncovered for infrastructure were quite significant. I mean, everybody knows it hasn't been properly maintained for quite a while. But we went on with the human intervention. You see the manual rummaging of the luggage has stopped. Yes. The visa on arrival is working. We are consolidating the different agencies within the airport into a single interface. The executive order that His Excellency issued.
We're going to come to that. Don't let the cat out of the bag yet. Okay. Then you talked about the 60 days are over. Now you're monitoring, right? Deepening, consolidating, and what? Institutionalizing implementation of the reforms you said to bring. Tell us more on that.
So the reforms, at the top level, we had the full support from the presidency to the ministers, to the National Assembly leadership, to private sector and state governors of Lagos and Kano. Now to deepen it, to make sure it's felt by Nigerians, the civil and public servants that interface with the Nigerian public needed to have the information, the directive cascade down. So to implement that and to consolidate the reforms, His Excellency issued the first executive order of this administration on transparency and efficiency.
Okay. Okay. Transparency and so what would that achieve? What is that going to achieve?
First of all, you know the reforms that we've been working on, the airports, the seaports, CAC, those were specifically targeted in the executive order. But beyond that, we had 2 very novel concepts. We had default approvals. So if there's a, well, I should backtrack a bit. There's transparency across the board for all MDAs. So all MDAs are supposed to update their websites and the information on their premises to capture the cost, the procedures, the documentation required, the number of steps, you know, everything transparent, and the people responsible. All MDAs are supposed to have service level agreements and standard operational procedures that tell us the exact time it will take, so that the public know. No, come today, come tomorrow. No, oh, you require this document, didn't you know? Oh, I forgot to mention. So clarity, transparency, which empowers the public to really be authoritative in their engagement with the public sector. When we have that transparency and it's ongoing, we issue the directive and backed it up with workshops to help deepen, particularly the PEBEC MDAs. There are about 40 of them, but we have about 13 priority ones that have a major interface with the public. And we've been working with them to make sure that we don't just give them an order. His Excellency, the acting president, said, you can't just, okay, so I've issued this order, but you have to help them
make it work.
Yes, so we've been having workshops, we've been having, the team is out on the road at MDAs discussing the customer service. So they have 3 areas they need to work on. The service level agreements and standard operational procedures. They have to work on the customer interface. Your phone lines must work. When there's a problem, someone must pick it up. When the public send emails, someone must respond. and there has to be a path for the complaint and a path backwards.
Yes.
So it's not easy, like
Exactly.
changing it, but they're getting into it because, of course, there are consequences in the executive order for failure. So that is the transparency. Now, when you have that transparency of process, when an MDA fails to adhere to the stipulated timeline, that approval is deemed given. And then the applicant can apply to the minister for the approval that the MDA should have given based on the executive order and the timeline being expired. So that's default approvals.
Okay.
And then the one government directive says that once the applicant can prove prima facie with a photocopy or with an initial documentation showing that they have, say for instance, tax clearance, you don't need certified true copies of various documents. The agencies should talk to each other. We're also trying to drive towards technology.
Okay.
When the agencies start finding it very difficult to rummage through manual piles of files, then there's an incentive to document using technology to arrange your data properly for easy retrieval. And the agencies should be the ones talking to each other, not sending private citizens, go from CAC to FIRS, come back to immigration, you need this, go back to NIPC, NEPC, you want to export. So all that running around, remember the focus of the intervention is saving cost, time, and to enable transparency. So those are the highlights.
Okay, because it's crucial for these changes to take place, because the question now, like you said, there will be what? Penalties, right? So what sort of penalties are MDAs, the key ones? What sort of penalties are they looking at if you fail to adhere to the terms of this executive order?
Well,
just give us an example.
Basically, in the executive order, it's deemed misconduct, and there are penalties for misconduct under the civil service and public service rules. So that's really, it's not out of the path. It's the same disciplinary path. Properly instituted, it leads to the logical conclusion.
Okay, we're going to take a quick break now, and then this discussion will continue. We're going to be looking at, asking you if Nigeria is indeed ready for business.
Okay.
All right, let's go for that break now. SEGUN OJUMU. On this program, we'll be bringing you news, views, and exclusive interviews with
security that cut across humanitarian aid to
it becomes easier to do business in Nigeria. Now,
Nigeria.
all right, welcome back to the program. You're watching Hindsight, and I have Dr. JUMOKE ODUWOLE. She is the Secretary of the Presidential Enabling Business Environment Council. She works with the acting president on this. Okay, now opening the business, you say now within 48 hours. So if an investor is coming to Nigeria, he's guaranteed that, okay, within 48 hours, I can go online to the CAC portal. How does it work?
So first of all, I should emphasize that the entire initiative is targeted at Nigerians. SMEs, to be precise, making it easier for Nigerians to do business here.
Yes.
Because Nigeria is quite a difficult place to do business.
It is.
Yeah, and we're our own best ambassadors. If Nigerians are bad-mouthing the system or frustrated in the system,
foreigners
then they can't be champions, they can't be cheerleaders for this economy. Even though some outsiders can see the potential and are willing to take the risk to come in and stay in. But we want things to be easier for especially small and they're the engines of development of any economy, and they're the ones that employ 80% of labor. So we want systemic. When I say that big corporates have access to power and that this is targeted at MSMEs, they don't like me saying that. They say they have problems too. Their problems are a bit more sophisticated.
Yes.
Yeah, but we want a systemic change. Just easier for everybody, so you don't need to know anybody. You can just do your business. So for registering, a young Nigerian techpreneur, for example, has an idea and wants to register a company this week to be able to put in an RFP. 48 hours.
Done.
Yeah.
Okay.
Plain vanilla, private company registration, nothing exotic.
Okay.
You can do it yourself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Then again, if you now, fine, MSMEs, the building blocks of any economy. But of course, just like the issue of tourism, domestic tourism, that is actually the bedrock of, you know, foreign tourism, tourists. If the domestic market, the domestic tourism is working, for example, then the foreigners are like, oh, that place is actually working. Let's go there. I think the same thing actually works for what we're discussing now. So if the foreign investor, for example, sees that, okay, these people have the business climate is good, you can open a business just like that in the comfort of your living room. There's access to credit, the judicial system works, so I can come. Then again, of course, the issue of building permits. Is that something you're also working on?
Building permits, you know, construction permits and registering of property are actually domained within state governments. And I'll mention a bit. We're actually collaborating very strongly. Lagos and Kano. But this quarter, this month, we've started collaborating with all states and the Federal Capital Territory.
Okay.
Yes, so that's breaking news.
Okay, that has to do with the subnational ranking?
The subnational rankings are next year, but why wait till next year? We have a model that's working, very collaborative model, and it's yielding results. You know, we passed 2 bills.
Yes.
Collaborating with the National Assembly.
Yes.
So it's a model that works. So we're working with all state governments now.
Okay. Tell us about this. Of course, okay, we will not even talk about electricity, property registration. These are all, we need a whole, yes, it's a lot. But hackathon, what is that about?
So you know, it's one thing to have directives. As we deepen it with the civil and public servants, Nigerians were very supportive during the 60-day National Action Plan. When I'm on the radio, when I'm on TV, a lot of feedback. And we had stakeholder engagement, a lot of feedback, which we want to institutionalize. So we held a hackathon. It was 60 Nigerian techpreneurs in teams of 4, so 15 teams. We had quite a few, almost 300 applications. By the deadline, we had to turn back, you know, by midnight, a lot. So that qualified, and we held it at the Andela campus in Lagos at the end of May. And we had an amazing time, over 2 days. There were at least 7 applications that can be scaled. Very interesting. Some were specific. There was one for taxes. There was one for capturing revenue, for finance. But it was supposed to be a general feedback platform, almost a whistleblower
platform.
Truly. So the application that won was a website where you can upload pictures, you can send in a text. We synthesize all the information. You tell us whether it was an emergency, maybe an approval you needed, an emergency visa to travel and you were ignored. You tell us whether it was a whistleblowing, somebody asked you for money, a bribe allegation, all sorts of information. And then the dashboards can be seen by, of course, the PEBEC, by the head of the agency. So it helps in the consequence management and it helps in targeting. So we wanted to put that in the hands of Nigerians to get that raw feedback. It's one thing to be telling agencies, these are the reforms, this is what we're hearing. It's another thing to hear it fresh. I mean, we really track the noise on Twitter. We really track everything going on when we're mentioned, because it shows the pulse. And so we've taken on reform areas. We heard a lot about NAFDAC, SON, police, customs on the road. I'll tell you a bit more about the new reform area. We
have less than 5 minutes, but trading within Nigeria, for example. Somebody asked, is Nigeria open for business? What would your response be?
Nigeria is open for business, and we are going to make it easier for Nigerians to trade within Nigeria. So the movement of goods, trading within Nigeria is a brand new indicator that we launched this month. The movement of goods within the country. So moving goods from Kano to Lagos, from the ports to the east, all those roadblocks, we're on it. We're working with security agencies, customs and police in particular. All the I mean, there are a lot of agencies, but those two.
Right. Sorry to cut in there, but like somebody who moves goods from Lagos to Kano, how will this really impact on the business?
So what you should expect to see is fewer checkpoints, illegal checkpoints should go. You would have the opportunity to report illegal checkpoints and action will be taken.
Okay.
So we're holding the security agencies accountable because it's actually leading to food inflation.
True.
Yeah,
True.
the price of food is more than
cost.
double. Yeah, and it's not petrol, it's not the cost of the transport. It's all the rent-seeking opportunities. There's a route that is like 200 kilometers and has 70 checkpoints.
Wow.
Because we've been tracking. So now we have the hotspot, real trading routes. We're also looking at like semi-border. We're looking at NAFDAC, SON. We're looking at the Commercial Law Department, Trademark Office, NOTAP.
Okay.
So we've taken 6 for this new indicator, and we're working with the agencies to develop the reforms, hold them accountable with timelines as always, and you'll hear more of that shortly.
Okay. I've been told that we're out of time.
Okay.
But if you were to squeeze in just your last few your last thoughts, what would that be?
We want the feedback. That is what would drive the reforms. Where the shoe is pinching, the public, we want to hear it. So when we launch the app, the winning app from the hackathon, we want it to be used widely, even from Nigerians abroad, everyone. So that it's not us talking at the agencies, let the people speak directly. If I had to say one thing, I think that's a game changer for us.
Okay, game changer, the hackathon.
Yes.
So we wait for that to happen.
Yes.
Dr. JUMOKE ODUWOLE, thank you very much
You're
for being on the show.
Yeah.
Again, I'm sure we're going to have more time
Sure.
to talk about your achievements and your progress.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
All right, that's where we end the show this week. I am SEGUN OJUMU. You can get in touch with us on the email address and the Twitter handle on your screens there. From me, SEGUN OJUMU again, and the rest of the team, goodbye.